YouTube whenever you are watching this. So we are, well, 4 weeks in now. It's Tuesday the 30th, so it's my 4th check-in of this mini cut, and as expected, changes have been made. So didn't do a vlog last week. There were no changes, and I didn't have that much movement on the scales particularly. Nothing exciting to report, and I was in between some busy weekends being away with friends, which I did mention previously I would be doing that. So yes, I might go into more detail on those weekends and how I kind of managed to actually stay on plan within the realms of, you know, being around some very drunk friends with some very drunk events. So yeah, I might go into that, but basically got through last week, and now ready to push for the final 4 weeks of this mini cut. So 4 weeks down, 8 pounds down, which is great position to be in. Visuals are looking starkly better. I will put them up on the screen for you now, so you can have a little look at where we are looking visually from the start of the mini cut to this morning. And yes, basically carbs have been dropped on both days by 25 grams, just the same as the last drop. And I'm just preparing 170 grams of potatoes now, which has been dropped slightly from what I was having previously. I'm just kind of pulling carbs from, you know, throughout the day really, to kind of make it work with a 25 gram drop. And also certain lipolytic has gone in, and I will again talk about that in a later segment of the video, because I just want to do a bit of a sit down and explain it, you know, side effects, all that kind of stuff, because yeah, I feel like when it comes to Clen, it's probably one of those things where it's, yeah, it's maybe not misunderstood as such, but just people kind of just blasé take it, and yeah, it does have its implications, and obviously I have my reasonings for taking it, so I will go through that later in the video. But for now, I'm going to finish off putting these potatoes in the air fryer. I always just season them in there and then pop them in for 25 minutes, and yeah, I will be having this with 5 heck sausages. I've got the chicken Italia ones, got 5 left, which so 25 minutes, 15 minutes in, I'll just add the heck in there and they cook together, and then I'll just kind of, while I'm putting the sausages in, I'll use that last 10 minutes to kind of put things on the pan, like vegetables and stuff, and fry them off with fry light obviously, and then that's my meal, pre-workout meal. Alright, that was meal 2 smashed. Obviously meal 1 was my oats. This isn't a full day of eating anyway, but there you go. I am going to make my intro workout now. You've seen my funnel method already. And yes, I'm just going to talk you through the supplements I'm using at the moment. So this was all from my latest order that I got from Supplement Supply UK, which is the company I work with. And yes, Recover EAAs from Innova Farm. Pink lemonade flavour. I mean, I just love Innova Farm flavours. Probably the best if I had to pick one like EAA brand to just stick with. Yeah, the panel is obviously really good as well. You've got your full 9 essential amino acids along with potassium, and you've actually got some pink Himalayan salt in there already. Obviously I add my own 2 grams as per, you know, my plan. So basically with my intra workout and then 5 other meals that I have, it's 12 grams of pink salt a day, so I'm meant to have 2 grams with every meal. To be honest, I don't have them with my oatmeals, I can't lie, because that would be vile. So I just have them with my savoury meals, but obviously it's not hard to kind of top up, like not having 2 grams in one meal, but having like 3 or 4, just to kind of get the 12 across the day. So yes, I mean, if you're not sure why people use pink salt, Google pink salt benefits and you'll find out there are a lot of benefits to using pink salt. It's one of those though, I mean, someone messaged me on Instagram yesterday when I put my intra workout stack on my story, and she was just asking me about it, and she's just new to the gym, and I just said to her, like, honestly, don't worry about pink salt. She was like, how do you know how much you need and stuff? And I just said, to be honest, like, if you are new to the gym, like, just start nailing the basics first, like nail like a regular training split,
your recovery capabilities, progressive overload, your meals, your meal timings, your sleep hygiene. There's a lot to nail before you start to think about things like, you know, pink salt. So, you know, one step at a time. Anyway, I've also ordered the Naughty Boy creatine. I'm not actually going to use that today because I've still got some of this Sport Asylum stuff left. I mean, when it comes to creatine, I ordered the Naughty Boy because it's 100 servings instead of 50, so it just lasts me longer. No particular reason. Like, when it comes to creatine, like, honestly, you can just get the cheapest one. It's not like creatine's creatine. I've not like ever thought to myself, oh, this brand's better than another one for creatine. Like, just get yourself some creatine. 5 grams a day is general recommended. Obviously, if someone's like heavier, like guys that are really heavy, like 5 grams isn't going to do much on like a guy who's like 100 plus kilos. But for most females, like 5 grams a day is going to be absolutely fine. And that's that. So, and then in terms of like the rest of what I ordered from Supplement Supply, got my Support Max joints capsules, which take 4 a day as per the recommended serving. And yeah, like literally just over the years of like heavy lifting, you put your joints under more and more stress as you know, get stronger basically. And yeah, I got to a point maybe 2 years ago where my elbows were always quite sore. My knees suffer quite a lot. I always wear my knee sleeves on like big compounds and stuff like squats, but still, it really helps a lot when I use Support Max Joint. It's got so much glucosamine sulfate in. It's literally 1400 milligrams in the 4 capsules. So yeah, it's fantastic. And it's also vitamin C, 250. So yeah, I've been using that now for the past couple of years. When I didn't use it, I did notice a difference. So, I mean, like, I always back the Strom products, like, because they really do work. I've seen it in my blood work and things like that. I've talked about this in previous videos, but if you're gonna like use a brand for like you know, the purposes that they're meant for, which they're always kind of in the name in Strom, like joint, it's for your joints. If you're gonna use a brand that's gonna help with specific areas that it claims to, Strom's gonna be the one that does work. So yeah, I always order this every month. I've got my creatine, I've got my intra workout, and then basically I just ordered a new whey because Supplement Supply also stocks Ghost Whey, which is a vibe. There's like Perform is like, most people like Perform for the flavours, but Ghost is like on another level. So I ordered the like chocolate chip cookie, and it just has like little pieces of chocolate chip in it, and it's like really nice. So yeah, that's what I got this month basically. So as you can see, like all the kind of main brands that you would want, like, you know, these are just the ones I've got. You know, you've got like Supplement Needs, you've got Perform, just literally all of the kind of top sort of like supplement brands you can think of. They are stocked on Supplement Supply UK, and they're always like getting new stock in as well, which is great. So, you know, it's like a constant rolling thing where you're gonna get the things that you want basically. And you can use my discount code Emily10, and that will get you a discount as well as supporting myself, so I'd much appreciate that. Anyway, I'm going to go off now, train upper one, which you've seen a couple of times on this channel now. You know my session, so I'm not going to show you it. I'm just going to go in there, I'm going to get after it, have a good session. Okay, fast forward several days in the future. It's Saturday now, so it's the 3rd of February. Happy new month and all that. But yes, it's proving difficult to keep up with the YouTube. Not like in general, just like as much as I would like, as in like the weekly element of it. Just don't have time to film, to be honest with you. But I'm here, I'm showing up, and I'm trying my best. So yes, I think I left off just after my upper session, which was okay-ish, kind of. Yeah. No, was it my upper session or my lower session? It was my upper session. It was Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah. That was one of those sessions where I took some progressions on one exercise, so like the machine row, and then after that I was like battered for the rest of the session, and it really didn't go that well. And then next day was lower 2, and again, not amazing. That session, the lower 2, so I've got 3 lowers, and they all finish with delts, but lower 2 has the most. So they all have laterals, but lower 2 also has a press and laterals. So my Smith incline press, which is my nemesis at the moment, really hard to progress it. I think when you get to a certain point in a diet, like push often is the first thing to go. I think a lot of people can agree on that. So yeah, my pushing strength was not at it this week, but hey ho, that's just it. I mean, my weight has been dropping off pretty quickly so far since check-in. So apart from being up this morning, which I believe is due to being on like day 25 of my cycle, and like I didn't really sleep that well the last couple of nights, but in general it was coming down,
and I hit a low of 146.4, I think it was, yesterday. So yeah, that's down from like 147.8 on check-in day. So yeah, I'm a few pounds down anyway since the last YouTube video. I think I was still in the 150s when I last did a video. So yeah, I'm a few pounds down, visually starting to look, you know, quite a bit better now, which is great. And yes, as you have heard in the start of the video, like Clen did get introduced this week as well as part of the check-in. So I will divulge into that a little bit more and explain to you like why it's gone in, and yeah, just a little bit more about kind of side effects and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so in terms of an assisted athlete implementing Clen on a prep, like the reason for that, quite simply put, is to speed up fat loss. And Clen is generally understood to, obviously it's a fat burner, quite, like, I don't really like the word fat burner to describe most of these kind of substances, because that's why I tend to veer towards the word lipolytics, not to sound fancier, but just because I don't like the word fat burner, not burning fat. But yeah, like there are different mechanisms in terms of, like, you know, whether it's fat mobilization or fat oxidation, and different substances will play a different role in, you know, what is actually happening at the fat cells. And so with Clen, it is a case of fat oxidation. And the, like, you know, studies do show, you know, human studies showing that Clen, I'm not going to talk about dosages, but like there's a certain dose of Clen that it has a pretty significant impact on your resting metabolic rate in terms of increasing it by 21%, to quote a certain study, actually increasing fat oxidation by 39% through that mechanism of increasing your resting metabolic rate, so your energy expenditure. So to put it really simply, like if your like resting rate or your resting metabolic rate is increased by 21%, depending on the calories that you burn at resting rate, like when you're just resting, like that will be increased by 21% on a certain dose of Clen. So, you know, you just sat there doing nothing and you're burning more calories. Never mind the fact that, you know, we take it in a fasted state, we go and do our cardio in the morning. So yeah, the effects of fat burners are blunted when you eat. So now that I've had Clen introduced, I am doing all my cardio fasted. So before I was sometimes like, oh, I just don't want to get up this morning earlier in order to get my check-ins done, so I'll just do check-ins, train and do cardio later on. Whereas now it's like, no, I will do it fasted. I'll make the most of being in a fasted state. I've taken my GH, I've taken my Clen, I'll go and do my cardio. So yeah, but overall across the day, it's increasing my resting energy levels. So yeah, I'm going to be just generally burning more calories throughout the day anyway. And yeah, my weight, I can't lie, has just been dropping off every day apart from this morning. But it started to just drop off. You know, we did have a food drop as well. So yeah, but apart, like, I mean, I had a food drop last week, and that didn't, not last week, sorry, but the last changes that we made, I had a food drop and it didn't do anywhere near as much as what the changes this week have made. And this isn't me encouraging the use of Clen. This is me explaining why we would use it in, like, you know, a bodybuilding setting. There's lots of research. My coach actually said, I mean, you know, it's nice to get his opinion. He thinks it's all a little bit like bollocksy, but there is, you know, much research to suggest, obviously, that Clen has its sort of like anabolic properties. I think mainly it's about the fact that we're preserving muscle tissue through the use of clenbuterol. So it is banned by WADA, so like natural athletes cannot use Clen because it's not just a fat burner. You know, like yohimbine is like, natural athletes can use yohimbine, and that has a completely different mechanism of action anyway. Like Clen is a beta-2 antagonist, yohimbine is not, which actually means that Clen, being a beta-2 antagonist, is pretty much having the opposite effect of beta blockers. And, you know, needless to say, like, it's a stimulant. You are going to increase your levels of anxiety probably, or even irritability. I find, like, on high dosages, like towards the back end of a prep, that's also just to do with being really hungry and tired. But like, yes, like small things will really irritate me. You know, you overthink a lot more. Obviously, like, you know, you get tremors and stuff, which isn't really pleasant. So for some people, it can be quite catastrophic, actually. Yeah, I think as well, like when you first put it in, you will notice, like, it's, yeah, like on Tuesday, I was literally like, whoa, this feels awful. Like, I'm not having a coffee this morning kind of thing. but I get used to it very quickly. It's only like the first day for me. But, you know, people can kind of still get those tremors regularly and experience it pretty often, which isn't really nice, not really pleasant. And obviously there's lots of other research as well, looking into like how Clen actually affects the heart. Is it causing cardiac hypertrophy, so like increasing the size of your heart? The study is looking into like it causing like arrhythmias and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not just like a willy-nilly, oh, it's a fat burner, just take it, crack on, go for it. Like, you know, there are more risks that people don't really consider necessarily. And like I said, there are like the kind of side effects of, you know, feeling anxious, feeling more irritable, having the tremors which aren't really pleasant and things like that. So there's more to it. And like I say as well, because of its sort of like anabolic properties, like that, like generally increasing in like skeletal muscle tissue slash perhaps the fact that it just helps to preserve muscle tissue, which is obviously beneficial when you are dieting and at risk of losing it. There it is, like makes you an assisted athlete when you use it. So you are no longer natural, you can't compete naturally. And yeah, that's obviously has quite a lot of implications for people because sadly I've had lots of clients come to me in the past, like just lifestyle clients, and their previous coaches have like just shoved Clen on them and said, oh yeah, it's a fat burner. And then it's like, oh, well, if you're wanting to compete, we can never do that naturally now because you've taken Clen. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't just take it and then crack on and do natural shows. You potentially could, but you'd be a liar, and you'd be at risk of getting found out as well. So yeah, I'll leave that one up to you. But generally speaking, you know, you've kind of messed up your ability to compete naturally if you have taken it. You can't just hop on stage 2 years later and claim to be natural because you have taken Clen. I think a lot of natural federations would consider that you could maybe compete with them after like a decade or something, but you're probably done with bodybuilding by that point. Yeah. So yeah, as a general rule of thumb, you're not natural if you've taken Clen. So that's another implication. However, as we know, I am not natural anyway. So for me, I'm in a mini cut. I'm wanting to lose fat a little bit more rapidly. I've used Clen in the past. I'm okay with it. Obviously, in terms of like any other potential side effects that I've talked about, like the research isn't really that conclusive at the moment. And these are risks that we take because obviously, you know, if in like 5 years time they come out with more and it's like, oh, okay, that's my prerogative. That's my risk to take. And yeah, I'm comfortable with it at the moment. So that is what I'm doing. And yes, like I say, things are moving along faster. I'm just a lot more like on it this week. You know, Clen, people find that it makes you a lot more like chatty and stuff like that. So I'm a bit more like, woo, you know, let's go. It is a stimulant at the end of the day. So I've talked about this today actually because I did some reels for Instagram. I did a content day basically. So I'm bringing out lots more like informative content soon. Follow me on Instagram if you want to catch it in a bit more detail. But I basically explained for one of my reels that, you know, you want to kind of think of stimulant use in terms of like caffeine and anything else that you might use in a diet. You want to think about it as a tool when you're dieting. And so obviously as you get tighter as the diet goes on, it's nice if you can start your diet on like a low amount of caffeine, a low amount of stimulants. So like for me, year round, it'll be 1 coffee, 1 Monster a day in the morning before I train. That's it. And, you know, now that I'm dieting, I'll have a coffee before I do my cardio as well. And then I'll have one after. And now I've got Clen in. So we've titrated up my stimulants a fair bit, you know, since the diet started. We're in week 5 now. So therefore, I'm still able to kind of be on my shit, have that cognitive function, have the energy to kind of go into my sessions and attack them and do all my work and stuff like that, because I've titrated up my, you know, sort of like general stimulants. So obviously, you know, not saying that you'd be necessarily using fat burners. So if it's just caffeine, then still, you know, you might want to just add in that extra coffee pre-cardio or whatever it is. Start having 1 coffee and then you maybe having a couple, you know, and that kind of tides you over. But if you're inconsistently consuming caffeine, so you're having like different amounts depending and kind of relying it on like your specific energy levels that day, that's when you're kind of running into, you know, potential like dips in energy throughout the week, or like general kind of like slumps where you maybe didn't sleep as well that day because you overdosed on caffeine, and then whether you felt like it did or not, it impacted your sleep quality. You're actually more tired the next day. So if you can keep like a regular base level of caffeine that you stick to every single day, like you're going to have much more regular energy levels and yeah, better quality sleep. So like I said, and right now
the stimulants that I'm on, obviously you must take Clen, like, you know, when you wake up anyway. So hopefully you're not lying in super late, and then by the time you go to bed in the evening, the effects have worn off and you are then able to go to sleep and get a good quality night's sleep. So yeah, I hope that all makes sense. You know, do your research when it comes to Clen. There is a lot out there. People look at like PubMed. Is that what it's called? I think so. Lots of like research studies if you want to look into it. People like will always say they've done their research and they haven't, they've just Googled it. Reddit won't give you the answers, guys. So yeah, actually do your research. Ask, you know, a coach, maybe like myself, you know, that kind of has done their research themselves, and you know, used it themselves several times, and will give you maybe some more background and pros and cons. I will always give people, you know, pros and cons of different scenarios and things that I've tried, you know, like the anabolic side of things, like obviously didn't really work out for myself, but obviously I'll still always present the you know, as I have done in a previous video, like the whys of you know, why we would take them and things like that, because just because I won't take them going forward, like people still will, and there are reasons for that, and I will always kind of present both sides, and essentially it's up to you what you do with that. You know, I'm never promoting use of any of these things. I'm not saying, oh, I've lost weight faster this week, so therefore Clen's great and go and use it. I'm just telling you the facts of the reasons we use Clen is because it does increase your resting metabolic rate, therefore you will, generally speaking, speed up the fat loss process, and that's why we choose to take on the risks and use it anyway, and that's why I'm using it. I've also presented the, like, you know, the potential side effects, the risks, and, you know, then you can take what you will from this video and make your own informed decisions based on this, but also based on your own research. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And apart from that, I'm probably going to leave it here. I will try my best to keep doing more vlogs. Obviously, the photo shoot I've got booked is on March 1st now, so it's, you know, literally 4 weeks yesterday. It's on a Friday and it's Saturday today, as you know. So yeah, I've got just under 4 weeks left of dieting. I'm hoping, obviously I've taken off nearly 10 pounds in total now. I'm hoping to take off about another 10 pounds. Especially now the fat loss is increasing, so I think £20 total would be a really good overall loss for this diet, and I'd feel in a much better position to then push up. So that's the plan, that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, I will make my best efforts to keep these vlogs a little bit more frequent, especially now things are kind of moving, and as well, I will definitely have a good YouTube coming soon because it's the team meet, and yeah, oh, like, I think this was yesterday when the teas arrived. So any of my clients watching this, if you're coming to the meet, I will be providing you with one of these amazing vests. I'm really happy with the print. It's like really nice this time, like better quality than the last ones, even though I like ordered it from the same company. If you do want to come to the meet and you haven't told me you want to come, then you better let me know, because I need to also get you a t-shirt or a vest, I should say. But yeah, team meet is in like 2 weeks today actually. And then there'll be an epic YouTube video off the back of that. We've got a videographer coming for the day. We've got posing. So we've got posing seminars going on. And then we're all going to be training. Like, I'm not going to be training. I'm going to be like spotting all my clients and going around speaking to them all and stuff. And then we are going to Nando's, which won't be part of the YouTube video. The videographer's going to go home then, and we're just going to go to Nando's. But yeah, that'll be a really fun YouTube video. It'll be well edited and not just like these off the cuff chatting ones, which, to be fair, I think you guys do like. But yeah, any questions that you have off the back of this video, feel free to let me know, and yeah, drop them in the comments below. General kind of queries, anything like that, always happy to answer. And yeah, you can, like I said, follow me on Instagram if you don't already. The links below, links to apply for coaching are below, links to order supplements from the company I work with and use my code and help me out and save yourself some money are also below. I think that's enough plugging for now. Just apart from that, like if you did get this far and you have watched it all, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.